Hello, Red Talks, and thank you for having me today. My name is Matthew Mayer, and I'm an MFA student in Integrated Design. My Red Talk is entitled Echoes of the Past, Reviving, Refreshing, and Remixing Typefaces. Before we dive in, I'd like to tell you a little about myself and why I'm here today. Typography has always been the driving force of my work for quite some time now. Here, you can see a quick timeline of my design evolution with type, from a handmade flyer in my punk rock days to more polished work in my jazz band days. But no matter how different they look, they all explore how type can convey a message and grab the viewer's attention. The second reason I wanted to show you these 7 posters today is to demonstrate that typography isn't just an invisible vessel for shaping text. It's a powerful tool for storytelling, cultural expression, and shaping visual identity. And if typography and typefaces are generally that powerful, what about the typefaces we lost to history? You see, countless typefaces and the stories behind them have been lost. My research examines why preserving typographic history is vital and how it can inspire contemporary design. That's why, today, I'm talking about typeface revivals, refreshes, and remixes, and how we can bring historical type back to life and why it matters. Now, you might ask, what are typeface revivals, refreshes, and remixes? Well, first, there are typeface revivals. Revivals faithfully recreate historical typefaces, often by digitizing them for modern use. Second, there are refreshes. Refreshes update historical typefaces by modernizing their design, improving legibility, or refining details for contemporary applications. And finally, there are remixes. Remixes explore new possibilities by modifying or combining existing typefaces to create something entirely new. Now that we know the 3 categories, let's examine a few examples. Here, at the top, is a picture of IBM Executive, a typeface first created in the 1940s for use on IBM typewriters. Below is the faithful revival entitled Executive Modern, released in 2001. The revival is a precise reproduction of the original, maintaining identical letterforms and spacing. For refreshes, we have everyone's favorite typeface, Helvetica. At the top is Helvetica New, a refresh itself. An even more modern refresh is Helvetica Now. Notice the larger letter spacing of Helvetica Now and how, despite both being the same point size, it's longer than the 1983 version because of that space between the letters. And finally, we have an example of a remix. Remix Stencil, created during the COVID-19 pandemic, combines italics and serif typefaces to create a truly stunning and unique typeface. I love how the designer's sketch of the N on the right shows how she created that negative space by overlaying the italics on the sans serif. Using the 3 methods to breathe new life into dead typefaces is about much more than just nostalgia. It's about honoring the legacy of forgotten typefaces and their creators. It's about reconnecting with the past and giving new life and context to yesterday's storytellers. So, where do you find long forgotten typefaces? Well, before I answer that, I need to tell you about what a type foundry is. A type foundry is a company that designs and distributes typefaces or fonts and can also offer custom type design services. They've been around for centuries, and many have come and gone over that time. But my research will explore the foundries that have come and gone in our great city of Baltimore. Back in 1797, a German printer by the name of Samuel Sauer founded the Baltimore Type Foundry. It was America's second oldest type foundry and supplied printers in the States with high quality metal type for over a century. Over the next 100 years or so, Sauer's Type Foundry passed through several different ownerships, eventually merging with the American Type Founders, and thus many of its unique designs were lost and disappeared. One such design, pictured here, is the beautiful ornamental all caps oak leaf released in 1832. While not a face that would be used daily today, it still deserves a revival for its sheer beauty and craftsmanship. Just look at the attention to detail, and to think that was all carved by hand out of wood. But Baltimore's Type Foundry story doesn't end there. Another foundry, the Baltimore Type and Composition Company, or Balto Type, sprang up in the early 20th century. Balto Type was prolific during the mid-century and operated up until the 1970s. Balto's type body of work should be combed over and sorted through for reviving, refreshing, or something even more fun, remixing. Pictured here are a few catalogs from a collection that I have myself of a handful of Balto's type's designs. Mademoiselle, which is the second from the right on the top, was designed for the magazine of the same name. And you just have to love that advert for Ocean City, Maryland, printed entirely with metal Balto type. But this is about much more than just research. It's about reviving and launching a new foundry dedicated to reinterpreting the city's typographic heritage. It's about honoring the craftsmanship of the past while pushing typography forward in exciting new directions. In conclusion, I hope to inspire other designers and researchers to look back at their local history for design inspiration, because you never know what you might find. Thank you very much for having me today, and I'd love to answer any questions you might have.